It's me, John D. Villarreal, joined by Paula Villarreal, and let's do it right now. Here we go. I mean, it's unbelievable. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. 47 is back. 47 is back. 47 is back. Actually, 47 is here. 45 is now 47. And America is back, Paul. America is back, and people are digging it. People are loving it. Huge, huge celebrations. No doubt about it. Let me make sure that I'm good here. And we're live on LinkedIn as well. It's unbelievable. I'm wearing my freedom shirt here. Just so much to talk about. In fact, let's just jump right into it. Little late on tonight. It is January 20th, 2025, Inauguration Day, Martin Luther King Day. We definitely celebrate and honor Dr. King. And also, I mean, this is a big day. I think, Trump was, well, we'll let him speak for himself here. In fact, let's go right now. First on the White House here, whitehouse.gov. We've got this new, I think, America is back thing. Let's see if we can get that going here. America is back. Am I sharing that? Hold on. I got to share that. Here we go. America is back right there on the White House page. Let's see if they have this like video that plays. Did I mess that up? I may have. We may have to come back to that. There literally is this like this awesome video that plays when you go there. Let me try to reload that. And it's just really, really cool. Very, very cool. Very awesome. It's probably like, I'm just guessing some flash technology or something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work here. It's very cool. Like that a lot. And we also in terms of his speech today, Paul, it really was tremendous in that he had some poignant. I'll try to figure out this thing when I shift it over to you. But let's go to his speech. I have keyed up here on C-SPAN public domain. I've got this keyed up where he just talks about divine intervention. Really, God. We'll let the president speak for himself here. It's about minute, 2 minute type of clip here. Let's let President Trump talk, and then we'll react to that. And there's so much going on in the tech world. People react on Twitter. Just lots going on today.
Will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way.
Time out. Let me get my, I think my speaker's a little bit off. While I set this up, Paul, I'm going to change my sound around. What was your take on this? What was your take on today's day and everything that happened today? Let me see if I've got this right now. 1 second.
The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life.
Wow.
Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
You check the crowd. Biden not clapping at all. We're seeing Kamala, Vice President Harris not clapping, and George W. Bush, President Bush. Look at Melania looking sharp. Barron Trump so tall, he's looking sharp. Got the haircut and everything like that. Yeah, the crowd really popped for Chamath right there. The Bessies are there again. Over here, you're not seeing Clinton's not. Although I will say it later on, somewhere in there, you had at some point, I can try to find it. You had Hillary Clinton when I want to say, let's see. Yeah, watch it. Should Panama Canal. Hold on.
We've been treated very badly from this foolish gift
where
that should have never been made.
basically
And Panama's promise to
Hillary
us
Clinton. You
has
got to
been
give him that.
broken.
Trump is an
The
entertainer.
purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being China. We gave it to Panama.
Okay, so they're again not
Above all,
not,
my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor,
I think this is
and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together, we will end the chronic disease epidemic, ends our territory.
Okay, talking about Mars. Talking about Mars. You don't like that. You may have gone too far.
Yeah, I don't remember what the fuck that
Yeah, Elon loves that. I'm trying to see I think it's 20, 22, 27, somewhere in there. I'll find it here.
Ambition
and,
is the lifeblood of a great nation.
Oh, here we go.
And right now, our nation is more ambitious
He's coming up
than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers.
It's almost like Manifest
won the
Destiny
Wild
again,
West,
you know?
ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny,
we're talking Mars, we're talking
lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens. It was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best.
I can't find it because we're going to move on, but it's here. It's in here.
From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave coal miners, police officers, and pioneers who communism and triumphed over every. So to every parent who dreams like never before.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you can see the pattern here. You see the Republicans, the crowd, popping for him.
In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly.
I may have gone
but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before.
Yeah,
we will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that.
I'll find it here, Paul. Your quick reaction to what we saw today from President Trump and the inauguration. A lot going on, a lot to talk about. I'll find that and I'll try to tee up the thing here on the White House as well. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, look, it was a great day. And I think people are extremely excited, extremely happy. I mean, of course, the inaugural speech itself, the main one, and then he did a secondary one. He went to Emancipation Hall, which I believe is downstairs from the Capitol or adjacent, and he did another speech there that was about an additional 30 minutes where he basically talked about what he took out of his main speech. And then he also talked about the last minute pardons from Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I thought that was as good as that was, and it was incredible. One of the highlights of the day, maybe the highlight of the day, in my opinion, was the parade. The parade was incredible. It was so good. And of course, it was indoors there at the Capital One Arena. And I think because it was indoors, it just, a lot of times the parade, people just kind of pass by, just kind of it's just not a big deal. I thought today was really well done, really well planned. I think the reaction for President Trump and for Melania Trump when they entered the arena, because they kind of went right through the crowd, almost like wrestlers would do, like coming down from like a higher in the arena, was amazing. Barron Trump got an incredible reaction. It was just, I thought it was just a really, you could just feel the energy. And I think so many people are ecstatic and just thrilled about today and where things are headed.
Absolutely. I did find that right here. I think I'm sharing this right here. Here it is coming up. Talking about the Gulf of Mexico. You can see Hillary Clinton. I don't know if it's going to help if I go full screen on this or larger. Not sure. Let's see if that yeah, that's good. Watch Hillary Clinton. Okay. Watch Hillary Clinton over here. Okay. It even cracks her up. Now you see George Bush and his wife, they kind of been sitting on their hands a little bit. Most of this crowd here of the former presidents and vice presidents do not get up. Obviously, we got some Supreme Court justices over here. That's different in terms of, neutrality and stuff like that, in my opinion. And you're going to see, of course, you're over JD Vance over here and his wife Usha over here, Barron Trump over here, Kristi Noem over here, Vivek, got, lots of Republican support over here, of course. But watch this line here by Trump. And then you've got Bill Clinton here, who's a great, Malays over here, just tremendous amounts of dignitaries and stuff. President Obama over here. Here we go.
A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Look at it. Look at her. Just bust her up. Even Hillary Clinton has to laugh at this. Even Hillary Clinton. Trump is the master entertainer. Even Hillary Clinton has to laugh at that.
And we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be.
Look at that. I mean, Paul, it just shows you right there. You've got a total, Trump is just a great show person and master entertainer. And again, I'm not, he just really knows how to come up with branding and marketing and is a salesperson. It's the whole thing. And I just think that so many of those politicians, so many of his rivals and former rivals you just have to respect him, dude. I mean, they never thought he could come back like this, Paul.
They didn't. And talking about the entertainment component, at the parade, he had a desk where he was signing executive orders there. Then he went back to the White House and signed more executive orders there and had the press. So he's basically doing a signing ceremony / press conference all at one time. They really scheduled the day well. I thought, you're right. I mean, he's so good at this. It's so good at putting on a show and has been doing this for decades. This is, of course, how he built his reputation. Yeah, of course, he was very successful, a real estate guy, but he understood how to create and manage an image and excite people. And that's so much of what he has built and what he is about. But of course, there's substance behind it. Today was I just thought it was a masterful day in terms of providing a show and a narrative. And it was just, as you said, the main thing of everything is the comeback. As you said, to be able to overcome everything that he was put through and the positions that he was in and be able to get back to the top and be the president of the country right now is just remarkable. I mean, it's historic. It's just, we've almost never seen anything like this. Of course, Grover Cleveland is the only other example of the non-consecutive terms. And I don't know everything about Grover Cleveland, but I have a hard time thinking that the story is better than President Trump's.
It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it's just, he's doing so many different things. He's doing the Doge today. He's sending troops to the border. He's doing so many, executive actions. He was signing today. There's just so much that's happening now with President Trump. And it's almost, I think the speed and rapidity that you're going to see of movement here is going to be very fast. Paul. And there's no doubt about it. I can't somehow, I think, because I've reloaded, I don't know. I can't get this video going back again. I'm sure it's like some cookie you're tracking or something. Who knows what? I mean, it's big. Probably, I'm assuming the assumption is my speculation purely is that, people maybe want to move past that. But I mean, I actually want to see it. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get that. We can figure that out. But not a big deal. It's on the White House website. I think that now, if we move over to Twitter, we're seeing a lot of stuff going on in Twitter, just tremendous amounts of stuff happening in Twitter. And people are excited. There's so many different presidential inaugural balls. There's just things that are happening out there. Elon was there. Kai Trump obviously was there. Well, let's just go through some of this here. Let me just, on my Twitter feed here, an X rather, you're just seeing so much happening here. Chamath, is out over there with his wife. Lots of style, stuff like that. He's pumped up. You're seeing here Dan Scavino Jr. Elon Musk is okay. Well, then there's obviously, and then we've got Jeff Bezos there and his wife. And so it's just a lot of stuff happening here. There we go. Bro, Senator Scott with Mark Zuckerberg. How about that? Zuck, I love it, And Zuck's done, he's had an interesting character arc and stuff like that. We're just seeing a lot of Joe Rogan and Dana White. Come on now. I mean, it's just, there's so man. I mean, America is back, dude. America is back. That's just how we can say it right there. It is fully back. He says there's no more, he's going to drill, baby, drill. American energy, the Green New Deal, that's done. I mean, there's just so many things that are going to happen. It's almost like a promising a total 180 from the woke policies out there. Look at this. Nice. Okay, Usha. Oh my God. The kids. Oh my God. The Vance kids. I love it. Look at the Vance kids. Look at it. Oh man. Dude, JD loves it. JD says, I love that. Dude, that is amazing. That is amazing. I've got up on the screen here. We've got the Vance kids, and JD's totally cool with it. We should just not look super happy. You got the boys having some fun there and stuff like that. Little X was there. I mean, this was a very, and I'm sure every inauguration's like this, but I mean, I don't know, Paul. It just felt like a really pro-family inauguration and stuff like that. Your take of what you saw today.
Yeah, as you said, it was definitely formal and had all the elements of that. But in the same way, as you said, it seemed pro-family, more relaxed, kind of like less uptight. And I think when the Vance kids, I thought were tremendous. We really got to see them at the parade in particular. And we have people involved like Dana White, different people that are more kind of like, or the tech guys. They're more bros than they are kind of formal, like master diplomat people. Now, again, they're of course they're acting respectful and everything, but it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you were feeling today. And we talked about this before we came on. One of the things I loved of the day at the parade was the HBCU dance of the drum crew.
Absolutely.
They were incredible.
Yeah.
And
Let me see if I can find that.
That just, again, you just had there were so many things happening today, and it just kind of different vibes and different just different pieces kind of coming together. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it really worked very well. And it's just almost like it feels like, that President Trump talked about kind of getting back to the America reaching for greatness and exploring. It just feels like we're entering into a new era or a new phase, and it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're bringing people like, instead of just traditional media, people like Joe Rogan, people like the podcasters, more power to the people rather than kind of a corporate top-down thing. And today felt like an inauguration for the people rather than the establishment. And I like that.
No, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And speaking of that, I saw something that was hilarious. Sean Sean McGuire was posting stuff, and I actually, it was a pretty interesting little story arc here, and I responded to him and stuff like that. And so he's a partner at Sequoia Capital, and it's just, you're talking about that. So here, let's share this here, Sean McGuire's Twitter feed, X feed rather, and look at this, and pre-gaming with the boys before dinner on with the president, and you've got the Rams game going on there, and right, and then you've got some gaming over here. Is that Destiny? I can't really see that far. I don't know. Not 100% sure what game that is. I'd have to really kind of check that out. Is that the Destiny Portal? I don't know. Splitgate, whatever. Let's see. And then I responded that like my wife's perspective.
He's like it's like snowing out there. Oh, he's got the dress there. He's gaming. He's like posted up. He's doing. I mean, I've been there, not exactly that spot, stuff like that. And then he's like, making up for it, and he has to carry the wife. That's great. That's tremendous. That's awesome. That's awesome. You got to respect that. Good job, Sean. Good job. That's that is fantastic. So, I mean, like you said, Paul, a lot of people are having fun again. You're having fun again. You're having, to borrow from Barbie, you've got that Kenergy back. You've got that Kenergy back, right? Along with, you need everything, right? We love Barbie, we love Ken, right? I mean, but you've got a little bit more Kenergy back. And I think, I don't want to get too much into that, but I mean, it's a different vibe. You've got Rogan there. You've got, all of America is celebrated. How about that? All of America is celebrated. I'm annoyed I can't get this video back from the White House thing, but whatever. It's not a big, whatever. You can go there and check it out. It's cool. It's Trump. He's, and you've got the planes, you get the whole thing. It's so really, really cool. Today. Let's spin it forward. What do you think? What do you make of this? What do you think is going to happen now? And how fast can we expect change? How dramatic? The next thing is all the confirmation of the cabinet and getting the cabinet in place. Obviously, the big ones are RFK Jr., Pam Bondi, RFK Jr. for HHS, and in no particular order here, but just the really big ones. Pete Hegseth at Department of Defense, Pam Bondi in Department of Justice, Kash Patel for head of the FBI. I mean, those are, I think, are some of the really big ones. And to the extent that you want to comment, I mean, what do you make of these sort of, end of the term pardons here by Biden? I think he pardoned General Miley, Anthony Fauci, Dr. Fauci, some members of his family, some different things like that. I mean, so in terms of how fast does Trump's cabinet get put in place? What do you expect? Trump, I think, said that he was going to release some files on the JFK files and a bunch of other things. And then what do you make of Biden's pardons and stuff like that? Do you think that, people are going to be talking about that?
Well, first of all, I think things are going to happen relatively quickly. I mean, as we saw with the flurry of executive orders, so things are going to move relatively quickly in terms of at least what he can do with executive action. As far as the cabinet goes, I think that they're going to move as fast as they can on that. And I think there might be some delayed tactics that the Democrats could use. But I know that they want to get people like Secretary of State Marco Rubio into place very quickly. That could happen over the next few days. So, to get everybody in, and I do think that just about everybody will be put through and confirmed, except, maybe perhaps one or two people. I think most are going to get through. I don't know exactly the timelines. I don't know how much delaying and stalling can be done. I don't think it's going to happen. So I think they're pretty good with that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's they are going to be in good shape with that. So yeah, I think that he will move quickly. The cabinet's going to get in place. As far as the pardons go, look, I understand it. I mean, if I was somebody that, if I'm Mark Milley, would I be is there a part of me that's happy that that happened? Yeah, I could understand that. On the other hand, if you're being pardoned, then you can, and it can kind of convey that there might be guilt there, or that something might have happened that was not supposed to happen. So there's that element of it as well. On a straight up perspective,
well, let me just say this: we're
I'm
not
not
making.
really.
Oh, one sorry. We're not making any allegations on anything whatsoever. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty and stuff like that. There are no charges against anyone. But from a political perspective, people can speculate as commentator. Nice. Let me say this from a political. The question people might ask: how about this? Some in the press and some commentators and out there would maybe ask, again, not alleging anything, and these are public figures and stuff like that. Why did Biden pardon these people? Number one, and number two, why pardon them right before Trump takes office? I mean, if you want to bury a story, could have picked maybe a better time, potentially, in my opinion, to bury a story. And so, you've got these pardons of these preemptive pardons of these big names, from what I understand, Miley, Dr. Fauci, others, and a lot, some of these people were up there, or those in the press, those defenders in the press on the left, moralizing about how, and they had a clip, I think Jesse Waters I think it was Jesse Waters or Hannity were playing tonight, from MSNBC and some other people about how Trump should never do this, and Schumer's talking about, well, now everything's changed. I mean, let's see where they're at on that. And of course, hypocrisy is not a new thing in politics, but it's pretty. I mean, I just think that it's very interesting politically. I guess that's what I'll say about that, and I wouldn't really say much more about that. Sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as you're saying, and this saying, it's if you pardon people, it makes people wonder why you're pardoning them, and that's something that can come across from that. So yeah, look, so that's what I think about it. I think that it's it's interesting. People are going to talk about it. President Trump basically said today that he didn't really want to talk about it today, although he did in that second speech I referenced, but that he's going to be talking about it in the time to come. And he did mention a little bit at the press conference tonight at the White House, where he was doing more executive orders, and essentially said, look, you're really setting a precedent here. And, where does that go from there? But look, we'll see. We'll see about it. On the other hand, it kind of it makes things easier for President Trump, in the sense that if there are people that would want him to pursue potential actions against some of these individuals, well, maybe he doesn't have to think about that now. So there's that element of it as well.
So let me bring
in other words, move forward rather than look backward.
I apologize.
And so I can understand that.
And I'll just put this up, and I'm not saying anything like this, but this is what I believe Elon said 2 hours ago. There's some person, and I have no idea who this is, Peter Sweden, Swedish journalist. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea. Who says, wait, Joe Biden gave Dr. Fauci a pardon going all the way back to 2014. What was he doing back then? Elon responds, that's a good question. What blank did Fauci blank starting in 2014? And then you can read what he's saying here, and I'll let Elon speak for himself and whatnot. So, people are talking about it. And then also this is an interesting take too. I don't know who this person is again, and Elon retweeted it. And I don't know what this is. The reason Democrats are so quiet is because Trump defeated them morally, not just politically. And Elon's like, that's what's really gutting them, to use, I believe, a phrase that's used in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot going on here. And then you have Elon that was just doing this, was super excited. And people are like, oh, Sage Steele and others like, they feel like, and again, not speaking for anyone, but the excitement is back. People are very, very happy. A lot of people are happy. And obviously, of course, I'm sure Democrats are, there's plenty of people that are not happy. But in many ways, this was a sweeping mandate, particularly given all of the challenges that usually Republicans have to face in these elections, and certainly the media, and just, Trump was going through so many of the things that he had to overcome. it just really is stunning when we look back at it, and you look at whether it's the Twitter files and Zuckerberg, what he revealed on Joe Rogan's podcast, and of them, apparently the Democrats and screaming at him and stuff like that from government officials or kind of people connected. I think I'll let Zuck speak for himself. And it just, you have all this media and everything, this complex that was arrayed against Trump, and for him to be able to go in there and win and win the popular vote and win all the swing states. It just is such a big victory, Paul. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Steve Scalise, who I believe was Majority Whip, there in the Joint Congress inaugural committee, like they had a luncheon today, packed in with everything else that was going on. And Stephen Scalise said some really, I actually was Mike Johnson that said some good things about J.D. Vance, but Stephen Scalise said that he wanted to come back to what Trump said in the inaugural speech, which was, in America, we do the impossible. That's what we do. And basically was just kind of alluding to everything that Trump did overcome, everything that he was able to accomplish. And he mentioned you referenced some other historical figures. And, that's what it feels like. It feels like for years we've been kind of like talking about the negativity or the flaws of the country and different things. Now it feels like the exceptionalism is being more pumped up now. And I think a lot of people are enthusiastic about that and want to feel good about things. And so I think that there is kind of a Reagan-esque morning in America, kind of an optimism that's kind of like coming on the horizon now, and people are excited about that.
Wow. So a couple of things actually before I jump to this, we've got the priorities here, but I just saw this from Autism Capital on X. Trump, here we go.
Withdrawing from withdrawing from the World Health Organization. Sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Trump withdraws from the World Health Organization. Okay, I mean, you're just talking like so many things changing right now, and in my opinion, like there's a lot of energy for years back. I don't know about super recently, but there was a lot of energy around like climate tech, and you see companies that were getting funded or positioning, or on this green energy push and this eco push, and now there's just things have changed very dramatically. If you look at the priorities of the Trump Vance priorities on the whitehouse.gov, there's big headlines here: make America safe again. Okay, secure the border and protect American communities. All right, ending catch and release, reinstating remain in Mexico, building the wall, ending asylum for there's a lot of different things going on there. Okay. The other thing is make America affordable and energy dominant again. All right. So, ending climate extremism, streamlining permitting, reviewing rescission of all regulations on new burdens. And I think he also signed something saying that, no more regulations, there's a pause, a moratorium on regulations, energy emergency. Okay. So that's very interesting. Consumer choice in vehicles, and all of that. Okay, withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord. I mean, this is really intense, right? He's doing emergency measures to reduce the cost of living. A lot of stuff is happening there. Drain the swamp. Okay, golden age of America. We have a lot of talk on that on X. And so right here, freeze bureaucrat hiring except for in essential areas. Okay, so you're freezing hiring right there, and just a lot going on. There's a lot going on there. So federal workers have to return to work. Only 6% work in person. So there's a lot of stuff, and then he's bringing back American values. So, and that's just what's on the White House website today. That's like one day, and meanwhile we've had the inauguration balls, we've had all the different other things going on. I think this administration looks like it's poised to react very, very quickly, Paul. I expect a lot to be happening here. It does seem like it's a very positive spin. You had Elon literally jumping up and down and excited. It had Hulk Hogan there. It really did feel like a Sage Steele like this felt like, I think her line was, she's been to a bunch of Super Bowls. It felt like a Super Bowl on steroids or something like that. I think that was the line. I may be wrong. That's my speculation and recollection, in my opinion, Um, Closing comments. I mean, obviously the proof's in the pudding. We got to see what happens going forward. We've already seen a lot today. I like the public signing. I do think that Trump now does not have to be reelected. I think everything he's got more experience now, everything that he's gone through. If anything, I really expect great things out of this administration. I think it's going to be, in some respects, shock and awe in terms of the speed of Trump addressing these issues. I believe he's scheduled to go out to California later this week for the devastating fires out there and being on the ground with that. It's going to be interesting to see, his interactions, if he interacts with Governor Newsom out there, and how that goes. What I'm saying, Paul, is I think that you have more than ever at this point Trump unfiltered. Would you agree or not, or disagree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the two things for me, and just in my closing thoughts, are what you have with Trump, and he basically said this tonight at the White House press conference. And if people want to see it, go to my X. I have it just like nicely cut. So there's a lot of versions of it, but there's a lot of extra stuff, and I just have it right there. Just go see it for yourself. What my feeling with Trump, and again, he mentioned this tonight, was he's prepared. In other words, he's been through all of this. He's experienced with this before. He's prepared and ready to go, which you saw today with the executive orders, and he's not distracted. Of course, when we came in the first time, we had the Russia stuff. We had a variety of different distractions going on, and now very few of those things, that kind of thing, remain. So you have somebody that knows what he needs to do and is able to put the focus on doing it. As we both know, Trump is a workaholic. He always was.
Yes.
He is focused on getting things done. And now I think we're going to see that in full action now.
I'm laughing because you've got JD Vance just cutting up like Trump is literally dancing with the YMCA with some sort. Melania there looking fabulous. Let me turn the sound off on this one. And JD's just loving it. I think Hooch is not quite sure what to do. Melania's like, "Oh man, Trump, Donald's going crazy again," and he's just dancing. Meanwhile, you've got the military there that have to be there, very stoic, and they're doing a great job. And thank you for the service. And he's just got this one. Melania's like, "Oh my gosh," and then JD's loving it, dude. I think now Hooch is okay. She's having fun with it. It's okay. This is Trump, dude. This is Trump. Theo Vaughn, Sean Duffy. I mean, it's wow. It's look at that, Elon. There's so much going on here. Oh, this is the America's Back thing right here. Here we go. This is on the White House. Let's go with this right now. So the White House. This is it right here. I delivered for you. It's on WhiteHouse.gov, public domain, government video. Wow, look at that. Looking great. The optics are fantastic. I mean, it looks like Reagan-esque. It's not better. The optics are fantastic. Look at that. Military, America, Trump, strength. Dude, I mean, that is so iconic. You look at that right there. Paul. I mean, what other politician where literally just a shadow, and you see like the profile, like the Trump hair and stuff like that. You've seen that just the profile where it's instantly recognizable. I mean, how insane is that? And the guy's in a suit almost all the time, but just instantly recognizable. And that is, I don't think you have any other president like that. Am I right or wrong? Maybe Lincoln with the hat, I guess.
No, I mean, I think you're pretty much correct, because the difference between some of these individuals and Trump, not everybody. I mean, there's pretty legendary figures in the American history, but Trump was already a brand before he became president. That's a difference between him and many of these other people. They were famous from politics. He was famous from being famous for other things. He was already a global brand before he came. So he already had that, and now he's had this iconic political arc. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about, maybe the most recognizable man on the planet. I mean, so it's definitely, yeah. I mean, everybody knows who he is.
And you're talking about like coalitions coming together. You have big tech there and serious and venture capitalists in Silicon Valley and there in serious force, whether it's David Sachs, Chamath, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Elon, so many more. Now Tim Cook, now you have more.
Sundar Pichai.
Absolutely. And then you have here a picture with Vivek Ramaswamy himself, who was a biotech, a CEO, billionaire. And you have Vivek Ramaswamy here with the head of the Teamsters there, who gave a big speech at the RNC. Trump reaching out to minority communities today and stuff and honoring Dr. King. You have so much going on there. It's just a different thing here. Zuck right there. And so there's just a lot happening. It's unbelievable. There we've got Harmeet Dillon there. Absolutely. And this is from, I believe, in with her family and back in 2017. Harmeet's done a great job, and we appreciate you, and definitely appreciate your family there, Harmeet. Absolutely. And so just a lot going on, and it was a big day. And look, we'll see going forward. And we want unity. We want everybody to come together. I know there's probably some people, obviously there's, I mean, this was kind of an election where one side was going to be really happy and the other side wasn't going to be so happy, and vice versa and stuff like that. But, again, the proof's in the pudding. Let's see what Trump can do. Hopefully, obviously myself and my side's pretty happy. I feel like, I don't want to get into this. It's late in the show and whatever like that. We talked about it before, but we'll take maybe a couple minutes on this real quick, Paul. I mean, I gotta say that it definitely feels there's a certain level of vindication, if you will. We were very early, extremely early on the Trump train. I definitely predicted Trump was going to win this a long time ago. I predicted Silicon Valley was going to, return in this kind of, posture years ahead of the game, before even the whole Miami tech thing started going and everything like that. And, I've had some periphery contact with some, I don't want to say too much, with some major players that you're seeing in the news, in my opinion. And, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, we were on a rocket ship with, and certainly I was on a rocket ship in Silicon Valley, in my opinion, and, and doing the YouTube stuff and conservative media and everything like that. And then things got interesting. Things got very interesting, but we've been warning against the dangers of the extreme left movement. We've been talking about the principles that made this country great, and whether it's, freedom and liberty and equality of opportunity and all these types of things. And, Alexis de Tocqueville and, being against cancel culture and all these things now that are very mainstream. And I said, when I was in the gym, we were preparing for this show. And so I was talking to Paul on the speakerphone. And it's like, it's just funny, dude. Like, we went from literally within 6 months or on back to, those crazy Trump guys, like what happened to totally mainstream, like super mainstream, you know what I mean? If not, prognosticators and stuff like that. That's one of my people said, John Stradamus or something like that. So it's been and I have to check, Mark Andreessen and some others sometimes when they, and we love you, Mark, and Andreessen Horowitz and stuff like that. And we're happy. We're, joining the team. We're happy and all that stuff. Let me revise that. I don't want to say check, but I have to maybe, fill in some blanks and correct the record a little bit, in my opinion, where, some people are like, oh, it's this period of time. It's maybe 4 years or 8 years. And, tech was first, it was, I don't know what he's first in and first out or something like that. It's like, wait a minute, time out. Tech has been the problem for a long, long time. Thank goodness you're here. This hasn't been 4 years or 8 years. This has been almost like, it's been a long time, dude. It's just almost 20 years. It's getting close to 20 years. And it's been a long stretch. And that has, trying to espouse these principles of freedom, opportunity, liberty, everything that, not everything, but I mean, so much because, because I don't know everything that's going on out there. So I'm not, I don't want to make a full blanket endorsement, but basically the MAGA agenda, the Trump agenda and stuff like that, the populist agenda, the America First agenda, but not against anyone, just being pro everyone, just trying to make sure that that again, it's the American principles, constitutional principles, freedom, opportunity, liberty, equality for everybody, right? That everybody has a shot, that the government's supposed to work for the people and stuff like that, and that it's not about an insider game, it's not about political favors, it's not about oligarchs, it's not about et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that most of the world has, through the history of time has been through, just trying to keep America that special place. You know what I'm saying? And so if you want places where the party rules everything, or if you're born in a royalty or whatever, and I'm not casting aspersions on anything else, but there's lots of other places that, America's, look, so it's been a long 20 years. That's really kind of punked out, in my opinion. I'm not alleging anything, but may have punked out my career. Certainly didn't make it any easier. And I would get comments on it and stuff like that. And again, I was on a rocket ship in Silicon Valley, and it all went dark quick. It all shut down super quick. And what Trump was saying in the inauguration today, Paul, I'll turn it over to you. If they could, look at what they did to Trump. If they could do that they can do that to anyone. They're talking smack on Elon. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm nobody, and you're, same thing. And I don't, we're not the story today or anything like that, but I'm just trying to personalize this and put it into context of why people are feeling this way, why someone like Elon is jumping up and down. Elon could have lost everything, dude. He's the richest person in the world. They were talking about, I mean, look at what they've been talking overseas and stuff like that. And this is someone that does Starlink, that's like that's doing rockets, that's doing all kinds of different things. And I'm not saying Elon's perfect. I'm not perfect enough to start, but I mean, it's just, are you building things? Are you open source, or is it something else? Do you have to worry that if you lose an election, you're going to prison? I mean, it's just crazy, dude. It got too crazy. And it's not just here. It's global. People are saying enough of this in Canada, enough of this in New Zealand, enough of this, in Argentina and, Ecuador and so many, not Ecuador, sorry. I don't want to say Honduras. What's Central America?
Brazil.
No, Brazil, Central America, that one president who's doing some great things down there. I'm losing.
I think that's Salvador.
El Salvador. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
Yeah.
And then we're over in Europe and stuff like that too. So it's been a long, long time. And so people are like, this really was a not alternate reality, but a fork in the road. That's when Trump says this is maybe the most important election ever. And I don't know. We've had some important elections and stuff like that, but this was a very, very big one, and certainly was the most important election in my lifetime. Paul, talk a little bit, if you will. I'll leave you the floor for personal privilege here in terms of like, how impactful this is and what a long 20 years this is going to be. And it's like, and again, I had a conversation with someone very, very big name, very powerful person, and just kind of like trying to game plan a little bit, like, hey, what should I do here? How do I get my life back? And, et cetera, and stuff like that. And they were saying like, listen, it could be a golden age. This is the time to build. You've got plenty of stuff behind you. You've done some great stuff. Let's go out there and do some stuff, whatever. I don't want to say too much. At some point, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that. But that's how people are feeling. It's just, and so that's why, whether it's, I'll stop on this, whether it's H-1Bs or different things, no one's against anything. It's like, I don't speak for the whole movement, obviously, and I'm, but what people, and I think Trump have to be sensitive to is some of these VC, and we love them, we love them. And I talk to a lot of them, and thank God we need them, but some of these the VCs and tech people is like, dude, you were part of the problem up until just a minute ago. And some people are saying of Zuck, and I don't know that it's totally fair and whatever. Like, hey, if Kamala would have won and he would have been on the other side of this and that, whatever. They're not saying Zuck, but there's certainly folks out there that are sort of opportunists, and there's folks out there whose companies have done, and other people say that, you know, I think I saw it on TV that they're good business people. Maybe that was Sage Steele, something like that. I don't know. And I think that was Sage Steele. I may be wrong on Jesse Waters, stuff like that, talking about that, you know, like people are a little bit cognizant of that, you know, a lot of middle America, a lot of people on the right, a lot of conservatives have been totally punked out for a long time. This has ruined people's lives. This has ruined their careers. And, you know, if you kind of, you know, were finger in the wind and, hey, you're on this team when they won, and now you're on this team when they win and stuff like that, you know, to just be a little sensitive, just to give it a minute and just try to, you know, make sure that everyone has an opportunity to win here and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that, but the challenge of that is that, you know, like I said, you got to be able to move forward and, you know, not to get religious or anything, but show forgiveness and all that type of stuff and whatever. So it's a very interesting time, but I'm very bullish on it. I'm kind of a long-winded, and I think people know where I'm going. So if I made any mistakes, I do apologize, and I reserve the right to revise and extend and whatever, but I'm just trying to just speak in extemporaneously here after midnight. Paul, your comments on that, because I know you've been there with me too. You know, you're a little later coming over to the conservative side, but you've been here for a long, long time, at least since Hillary first won, and you've seen it firsthand. And definitely, what kind of day is this, in your opinion?
It's a huge day, and it's a day that I still look at as the job isn't done, because what has taken place over the last 20 or so years can always come back. And that's something that I know that Ronald Reagan would say. You know, you're always a generation away from losing freedom. And I think we've experienced kind of close call with that in the last however many years. And as you said earlier, look, I have been through all of this. This has had a profound effect on my life and the arc of my career and the arc of my life. And there's a lot of other people that are in a similar situation. Perhaps not some of the tech people, but other people. I mean, I know people that this affected their health. It's affected their families. It's affected relationships. It's affected all kinds of things. And that's because, as you said earlier, things have become too intense. Politics, it kind of crawled into every aspect of life in a way that I think it's not really intended to be in a kind of a healthy situation. So today was kind of, as you said the word vindication. It is a vindication. And I think it's a vindication of better principles winning over lesser principles, but also it's a time where you feel like you've been manning the fort for however many periods of time, and now you get a break. You can take a rest. That's how it felt like today. It felt like we finally did it, even though we've got to continue to be vigilant, but we won. That's one of the things that I know for President Trump, I believe, said, I can't remember if it was an inaugural speech. I think it was. You know, some of the first things he said was, "We won, we won."
Yeah.
And again, for somebody like him who has been through so much, they tried to take his freedom away, take his money away, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. This was kind of a basic struggle about what was going to happen for him personally and what was going to happen for us as a country. And so today is, in my perspective, a great day. And as you said about, for both of us, we have been in this with skin in the game for basically 20 years.
Yeah.
We've been through this, every nook and cranny. The reason why people gravitated to President Trump, in my perspective, and you and I were right there from the get-go, was because he had this particular set of qualities and characteristics that was going to allow him to be able to make it through this type of a difficult period of time. And that's where we are today. So for me personally, it's an amazing day. I'm thrilled. I'm tired from the journey, but I'm ecstatic and I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a combination of different things, and exactly that, and I think that um, I don't know if it's like Washington after they won or whatever whatever it might be, but I think it's kind of like without getting too much into this, but it's like I was talking to my wife about something and I want to get into it, but I mean, I just because I want to focus on this. Maybe another show I'll talk about that, but it was something like, hey, because she was all set up in Israel and was a superstar for her level and everything like that. And now, we talk about, okay, well, you look at this, whatever, period that we've over a decade that we've been together and stuff like that. And now it's like if something, gosh forbid, happened to me, like you guys are cool. Like it's promises made, promises kept, and I feel like that was the sense of it today and trying to advocate for a better tomorrow and stuff like that. And the same thing with this journey, right? Of sort of advocating for why constitutional principles, American, values, freedom, constitutional republic, all these types of things are so representative democracy are so important and so crucial. And I think that we're there. And so I think, but every day is a new day. And again, Alexis de Tocqueville and others, every day you've got to sort of ante up on that, right? As citizens and being involved and engaged and stuff like that. And it's been a long, almost 20 years. At the same time, like if anything, I'm more excited than ever. I'm more optimistic than ever. I can't wait to be involved. It's not like I'm not going to be Frodo going back to the Shire here after the ring's destroyed or whatever. We want to be involved. We've got big plans. We got different things we're going to do, and it could be a golden age. It's going to be very exciting. So it's great. I think in some ways it's really, really interesting because we've got people that are elders, that are still doing. Look at Trump and his energy. My goodness, that's this person, unbelievable. That we can learn from and have great things to offer, and a lot of people that are involved with him. And at the same time, we've got a young up and coming different generations, whether that's some of the influencers or even JD Vance and Vivek are a little and others that are really stepping up. And you look at the Logan Paul and his brother, Jake Paul, that supported Trump, and some others. And so I really feel like it's a different, Devori Darkins is out there. So many people, so many new influencers that have come up. So it's very, very interesting to see what happens here. Um, Very exciting day, very impactful day. So, I know it's a little bit later here, and a lot of people have said a lot of things, and there's a lot of other things going on, but Paul and I had to come on the air and say something. So that's kind of what we wanted to say, and we'll see. But I mean, and now we'll see, Trump's got to deliver. And they've the only, I want to say, how do I say this? I don't think it's a big thing because I think that people are so excited for any progress, and it's going to feel so much better once we start getting progress on regulation and taxes and all kinds of other stuff and energy and et cetera. And I think you've got very, very smart people involved. But I guess not the only, but one of the potential issues out there for Trump in the near term is, the promises and the asks are big. The ask and the promises and what they're saying they're going to deliver is big. But I think Trump's one of these promises, many promises kept. Do you think that the expectations that the bar is set too high for Trump, or do you think that, hey, he's going for 100%, but even if he gets 50%, people are going to be super happy and it's going to make things better? Like, do you have any early take on that, Paul?
Well, I think that people that are detractors or people that are critics of the media are going to focus on that. I already see them doing that. I think for the average person, it's not going to be like that. Look, people want the cost to come down, and they know what the Trump economy was before. So sure, if they want real progress made in that, but I think a lot of it's there's going to be a lot of good faith with him because they know what he's capable of delivering. So even if it takes a little bit longer, or if it's 50% of the solution, not 100%, that's better than 0%. So I think there's going to be some goodwill extended there.
So there you go. Yeah, look, big day, big day. We congratulate President Trump and the whole team. We thank Elon. We thank, so many people that had a big part of this. Charlie Kirk. I mean, Scott Pressler. The list goes on and on and on. It really can't take the time. I mean, you can't. I'm sure if I stayed here for 10 minutes, I'd still miss a bunch of people. So, and obviously, Paul and I were involved, as in terms of advocating for these principles and being Trump supporters and everything like that, etc. So there you go. So Trump is now the 47th president of the United States. It is it's a new era. We're going to see what happens here, and onwards and upwards, and looking forward to see what happens here. So for Paul, I am John D. Villarreal. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.